Good afternoon to everybody. I would like to talk about a specific problem that is linked to the telecom industry. What do you do if you're a telecom industry and you need to put an antenna in an area where there is no grid power available? This problem is particularly acute if we look at developing countries. Let's look at Africa, for example. As everybody very well knows, only 32% of the population in Africa has access to power. At the same time, if we look at the mobile penetration, we can see that roughly 74% of the African population has access to mobile networks. You can see there's quite a discrepancy between both services, which if you combine them, clearly means that there's roughly 200,000 antennas in Africa that have no access to grid power. So how do the mobile companies actually manage to power their antennas? This is their current solution. They use diesel generators. I'm sure I don't need to convince the audience of many of the flaws of diesel generators. I'll name just a few here. First of all, they're very costly. I can let you know, for example, that mobile companies in emerging countries will spend roughly 40% of their costs on energy running these generators. Secondly, they're noisy. So they could be a disturbance to the nearby villages, to the African fauna. And finally, last but not least, they obviously emit a lot of CO2 pollution. All problems that we aim to get rid of. How do we do it? Cysalys combines renewable energy, solar panels, wind turbines, with batteries, lithium, lead, flow, hopefully soon, with a source of on-demand energy, which is a requirement from the telecom industry, which could be diesel generators or fuel cells or anything else. And the result is a very compact product which hybridizes all these different sources of energies. What is the result of it? Well, we're able to divide the energy cost by 2 for the mobile companies. We minimize drastically the CO2 production. And at the same time, we're completely able to guarantee a 24-hour energy production no matter what is the weather conditions and so on and so forth. How far has Cysalys gone? Well, today we're operating in France and in Dom-Tom, so Reunion Island, for example, and we're talking with New Caledonia currently. And we are deploying our first sets in Africa through Togo. And we are actually having leads right now in Kenya, Madagascar, Chad, and so on and so forth. For you to have an idea of how big this market is, today the African telecom-only energy market represents roughly 5 billion USD. This is the market that we are able to target. And just so you know, currently in Africa, we're working on about leads that amount to roughly 10 million USD. What have we done so far? So we've worked in France with TDF, which makes mobile tower antennas. We've worked with Orange in Reunion Islands. And what is interesting is that they bought sets in 2017, and then in 2018 they came back and they both bought twice as many as they had previously bought. It's always a very good sign when your customer comes back and asks for more in bigger quantities. Here's a short feedback that Orange has given us about the sets that we sold them on the Reunion Islands. They said that today the fuel consumption has been divided by 3, and overall costs as well have been divided by 3 as a result. That's it. That's about Cysalys. If you want to know more, please come and see us. We're on booth C11, and we'd love to see you there. Thank you very much.